You ready for story time?
I don't know. I don't know what the story is going to be about.
Well, you started to tell me the story before, but
Yeah, it's on. I say it's on my phone.
Is it on?
Yeah, I can see it on my
Oh,
phone.
there we are.
Hello.
Hey. All right, we're on live tonight. We're back onto doing TikTok like we should have been doing it all along. For some reason, they let us do it. Let us back in basically. So if you guys are watching on TikTok, we're logged in there. It's Chelsea and Justin are already in. If you guys are on YouTube and Facebook, please go ahead and type something in. We're definitely more interactive on Wednesday nights than we are on our Monday nights show. Monday night show. Yeah, a little bit of a delay on that, right? So just yeah. So how's your okay? So if we get, yeah, we'll get to your questions if you guys got stuff. So don't you know don't worry about that part. But literally, type in here if I can. On the screen. Oops, I don't want to do that. Cancel that. Okay, so yeah, if you guys are on Facebook and YouTube, you want to comment there, go ahead for it. We'll definitely be replying tonight. Tonight, we want to kind of do like Adam and I did the episode way at the beginning where we told our fandom story. And part of us doing this every week is I want my lovely wife to be able to show off, her knowledge of the sport, her opinions on the sport, and then, just in general, how smart a person she is. But Adam and I did that episode at the beginning, almost 200 episodes ago now. And what it was kind of like a little breakdown. Adam, growing up in Brookfield, Ohio, and how he came to NASCAR, and he used to work at the Sharon Speedway, and then me following Dave through all the years, and then just kind of how it progressed to Ryan. And I think people will be interested to find out like how far back your fandom of NASCAR goes. I mean, like sports wise, like you played sports in high school, right?
Yes, I played sports when I was like a kid too.
Right.
I played softball when I was like, I don't know, 8, 9, 7, 8, something like that. And then I played 2 more years when I was like, I don't know, around the 12, 13, right before fast pitch softball. I still played slow pitch. And then I played tennis in high school. On the tennis team.
But actually, your biggest thing in high school was
band.
And actually, you weren't just any member of the band.
I was the drum major my junior and senior year.
In charge of the band. Making sure the band goes where it's supposed to go, up and down the field, and hopefully making sure they.
And then I was in the band at college. Well, my major was music.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
At Youngstown State University. Just everybody guessing. What do they call the band there?
Marching Pride.
Marching Pride. So a little bit of an athletic background to begin with.
Well, yeah. I mean, we always went to ball games and watched sports at home. I mean, that was just part of growing up.
And then bowling came later.
Bowling came a lot later.
Bowling might be her best sport, actually. Oh, not might be, it is.
Yeah.
How does NASCAR come into, or motorsports at all, come into being here? What year do you kind of like start?
I don't know, because when I was young, I had no desire to watch NASCAR. I thought it was, oh, look, they're turning again type of attitude. I was in my 20s. When I first got into NASCAR, Dave was in the 22 Cat car, and I think we looked it up what years that was, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it was.
Go ahead and look that real quick. Look it up. We did look it up before, and I can't.
Well, we were going between, was it like 07, 08, 09? Like, I don't remember at all. But that's when I got into NASCAR.
So you kind of go back to the days of the quickest lap message board?
Yes.
Or,
Yeah, I mean, it was already like established and everything by the time I got on there, but yeah, I was on there very briefly before it all.
before changed, right? Yeah, because it just kind of went away with
Yeah.
different things. Yeah, so I go down the list here. I know year, I thought it was like 07 or 08, right? Like it was, the cap car was. It's not gonna say which car I use here. But yeah, the cat car, and then you started following. Did you go to Sharon Speedway at all to see him race back then?
I went to my first Pocono race before I went to Sharon Speedway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you saw like, what car was he in at that point? Was it still the 22, or was he in the
No.
7?
It was like the 66.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
The Prism Motorsports.
Yeah,
years.
I think it was that.
Okay, I remember that.
I know I was at Pocono when he was in the 66. I don't know if it was my first one or I think it was. I think it was my first.
And then, so like from there, like how did you start following Ryan? Did you just kind of progress to that? Like I did, like I was like, well, Dave's gonna retire soon.
Well, I mean, anybody that is a Dave fan, but during his Cup years, it was, is he gonna race the race, or is this not a race the whole race type situation? And I liked watching the races. I really did enjoy it. And then like I had heard about Ryan, and he was a racer, and he was coming up, and everybody was kind of looking, and so I kind of just, let me think. I decided that I was going to be a Brad fan. I became a Brad Keselowski fan there for a while because Brad employed Ryan.
Okay.
So I didn't have anybody in the Cup to watch, so I was like, well, I'll watch Brad. And then I really, really enjoyed I think the trucks were my favorite then. Maybe because Ryan was in it, but I mean, there were a lot of good racing back then. There were a lot of good drivers back then. It was just really, really fun to watch.
Actually, I finally did find it. That works out about right. Yeah, 07, 08 was Bill Davis in the 22.
There you go.
And then the next year, the Prism Motorsports car was the 66. And somewhere there was Pocono. Yeah, right there. So yeah, and then right to Tommy Baldwin, which is actually like the Tommy Baldwin stuff, as people hear at the end of this story, is like huge to like bringing all this together, because Tommy, has Dave with him for a while, and then the Ryan thing happens kind of because of that, and then and Ryan's things happen with that. So like you start following Ryan. When was the first race you went and saw Ryan race?
A truck race at Pocono.
Oh, okay.
The one that, yeah, the one that we met. I went to the truck race.
Oh, okay. A day or two before.
My mother and I went to the truck race and watched that. Wasn't that when he won in June? Was it June of 2013 that he won the truck race at Pocono?
I'll have to go back and look.
But I've watched, and there was like 97 restarts, and he was up front, and it was totally exciting and so much fun. And that was the first race I saw him win it.
Mm-hmm. Now you went to, like in those years though, you went to Michigan a couple times and experienced that camping on the outside of the track, right?
Yeah.
The campground there.
Well, there's 9 campgrounds, or there were 9 campgrounds. We were up by turn 4. Up there.
So it goes back 10, 15, almost about 15 years plus now. Right? Yeah, so that's another thing, like time wise, the 20, what year did we say? 20, so it had to be like 2014 or 13.
What?
The year that Ryan ran at the Pocono was the year that we met was
2013.
13, right? Yeah, I don't know why I want to put it at 14 for some
It was
reason.
2013. I just don't remember if I thought he won the June weekend. I don't think it was the August one. I think it was the June one.
And you won tickets. Well, you won tickets
For both of them.
for both of them, right? So
Yeah.
you won the tickets for
The June race was the Tommy Baldwin tickets, and then I won tickets through Pocono themselves for the August race.
okay. And that's where. Sure.
I'll look it up. But I'll look it up.
Yes, Kate can play dum tis. Yes, she can. Actually, what is the major instrument that you actually played all the years?
Flute, blow, and then I played a little bit of that.
Oh, that I'd like to see. What's up, Ralph? How are we doing tonight? Like I said, if anybody's on the Facebook and YouTube, go ahead and log in, say hi to us. You know, any questions you got for us tonight? Anything that we can be on topic, off topic, it doesn't matter. We
don't have a topic.
We don't. Well, I got notes. I got some things, but like I said, I want to make sure. Like, I've noticed, like I do too much of the talking on these.
Oh, it was August.
Okay, so he won. He won in August. So
yeah,
we met, and then he won, and then we didn't. We met at that point, and things happened years to follow. Luckily,
it took you 3 years to ask me out.
Yeah.
But we did hang out. We did go to Sharon's Peak. Like we met there and watched some races.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was back when my company had a loge there, and that was kind of cool because nobody used it. We went a couple times and there was nobody up there, right?
Chelsea asked a question.
Yeah, I was going to go for that right away when I got done there. Which driver would you want to be stuck on an island with, past or present? You go first.
Wow. We're gonna have to think this out.
Besides the offense, right?
What, you mean Ryan?
Yeah.
He would be entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're stuck there and there's absolutely no way that you can get off the island, it's going to entertain you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think everybody can agree with that. I don't know who's like really like MacGyverish. Like,
oh, so you need somebody who's going to like figure out things.
Like Brad's well read.
Mm-hmm.
He might have some tricks up his sleeve. I like Chelsea's. She said Truex because he can catch all the fish. That is a good one.
Really, really smart thinking, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say Denny because I think Denny's like a critical thinker.
Yeah.
When it comes to doing, coming up with
Tony
thoughts,
Stewart.
Right? So, now we're talking.
That would be.
Anybody that's been a driver with Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
That.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, in case any of you are kind of regulars on TikTok, is I could pick Catherine Legg because that guy that quit his job to sail around the world and everything, and he was out in like the middle of the ocean, and the Elf Cosmetics came out and like dropped food and like extra supplies for him and stuff that they just did like kind of on a whim, just something fun to do. See, they'd be able to find you. So because that's their driver, Catherine, I bet we could get rescued.
I never thought of that. That's great. That's me. Yeah, that's I was thinking about that.
They dropped sandwiches for him, like fresh sandwich. Like I think it was Jimmy John's or something. Sandwiches. Like heck
yeah. See, Brad K. See, somebody else agrees with you about Brad. There's something about, like you said, he's well read and.
I don't know how he would do with like a a big animal came out, and like Tony, I think, or Truex, I think could kind of, stop a big, I don't know, some kind of big monster animal at me. I don't know if Brad could, but he might be able to like the professor on Gilligan's Island, like could he like rig something up so that
Or would you pick somebody that you could be quicker than? Because you know what they say. You
Yeah.
just got to be quicker than
just got to be quicker than the next guy.
the next guy. Somebody with short legs.
Mm.
Somebody like Tyler.
I don't know.
I just said that for reaction. See if there's an angry face that shows up on TikTok. Oh, there's Brian. What's up, Brian? Oh man, Tim, and yep. Hey, Brian, I want to ask Brian if he wants to reply in there too. Do you listen to the scanner every weekend? Do you listen to Tim Spotting every weekend like I do, like we do actually? Like you don't do it on purpose.
No, I don't really have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
Something fell out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna check on the puppy for a second here. So yeah, so the the actual like story of her and I meeting ends up being on Pocono's website. So if Pocono Tricky Chronicles, did you find what it was?
No.
Somebody's in trouble out there?
No, she just looks guilty. I don't know what she did. I don't see anything, but she's just looking at me like.
So yeah, Pocono Tricky Chronicles is what they call them. The little short videos I used to do. It's called Pocono. I think it's just Pocono: A Love Story. If you just Google that, there's a video. We did the video with some help from people from Cove Haven, actually, resorts, and that really kind of gets in depth of how we met and then so forth, how things progressed. So, so you can't go wrong with TJ. You listen to TJ Majors every weekend. So that's interesting. What's great about him is then you get like him on a podcast later in the week too. So you get even a little more info.
All right, Chelsea, hit us with it.
What you got?
We got another one for the class.
Mm-hmm. What time delay?
I know, it's like 30 seconds. It's like watching the race in the in-car camera and listening when you have to like try to sync them all up.
Yeah, you get them all tied together.
Oh my goodness, that's so irritating. Watching the race. Especially when like a crash is coming, like you hear it, and you have to wait to see it, and you have to wait to see it again, and it's like, oh.
That happened on lap 2 this past weekend. What drivers would you pair for a buddy cop movie?
Bubba and Ryan.
See, now I think you need to have some adversarial stuff. I think you need to have one guy who's like the straight-laced, like I'm the dragnet theme. One guy's the straight-laced guy, and the other guy's the wacky guy. Or one guy is the grumpy guy, and the other guy's the wacky guy.
Okay, then who?
Well, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Give me Kyle Busch as the grumpy guy. And then insert. See, I want to see Ryan play in these actual scenarios. I want to see him actually continue his acting career. So
I just feel biased because when he does like the bracket challenge and he does those, it's just, please, where are the bloopers? Can you please give us the bloopers? Because I think they'd be hilarious.
Never seen The Bear before. I've never seen it. I've now kind of looked at commercials and stuff for it. Saw that little commercial they did last weekend with them yelling and screaming and hollering, and thought it was funny as heck, even without seeing The Bear. And then now that I've kind of seen some clips of what The Bear is about, the show, it made it even funnier. And Ryan, like she was pointing out here, because the guys, Ryan being in that, and then they just really, really good stuff. Stenhouse actually and Ryan would be a good combination. they've been
They
in a couple.
would.
They've
They've
been
done
in
a
a
few
couple of
things.
things together now,
Mhm.
and they are
They
really good together,
play well off
playing
each other.
off each other. So yeah, I think for a buddy cop movie, I could see that. Yeah, see Blaney and Ricky. I was thinking the same thing. Um, I don't know who else. I wonder, there's people that like want to see personality. That's why I like leaving a certain name out of there because I don't know like what kind of actor he would be. You know, um, although he'd be popular. Jason.
I just I just think he's an introvert.
Yeah,
I think he's
that might be what it really comes down to. But
I think he's
there's,
just shyer than the other guy, which is fine. That's fine. Everybody's different.
um, but yeah, Bill and Blaney, Gregson and Chastain. There's some interesting names. Um, Gregson definitely has got some personality. Hill would be the grumpy guy, I guess. You could see him being that. Um, Hocevar, yeah, Gregson and Hocevar. Now that's an interesting combination. Hocevar would be the goofy guy, no matter what you did. He's tall too, so you should probably just have somebody short next to him. Maybe have Tyler Reddick next to Hocevar. That'd be kind of cool. I'm gonna work Tyler Reddick in everything.
Okay.
He works in all situations. He's a 5-tool player. Does it all. Probably win this week. Yeah. Well, he's at it. Hey, we were gonna go through a little bit of the news today too. Like, did you see the Bowman Gray thing today?
Yeah.
Any opinion?
I think it's cool.
Go back there for as long as it's not a cup race, right?
Yeah. Well.
You on TikTok, you get the Bowman Gray stuff that happens during the fights and stuff like that still happen.
I've heard about them, but I don't follow anything that like is giving me constant updates on it.
Give me the content.
No.
I do. I've been getting them, but I'm under the understanding from listening to some people that NASCAR is taking over the ownership of the track, like taking over like the running of the events, and a lot of that is getting guys banned and suspended now instead of like come on back next week and keep doing it again. So hopefully it cleans it up a little bit. I don't know if that's good luck. Some of it. There was the last one I caught was a father and a daughter and a son and father and son in a race, the four of them, and different things that happened at the end of the race. One trying to block the other one, and people jumping on hoods of cars and trying to tear the hoods off the car and stuff like that. So just kind of hoping that things settle down there because the racing can be pretty good, and it wasn't bad last year or this past year. So it'd be good to see the Open there again or the Clash there again. The other big thing was Chicago. Like, there she is. Come on in.
I'm sure. Did you have Amazon coming?
I did not. I don't have delivery coming. She's usually on the ball though. Chicago was the other thing today. Like some people are rumoring that it might not go away.
I don't know.
There's it's kind of interesting. You guys, you don't really listen to any of the podcasts that much, right?
Sometimes.
Like Jeff and Jordan come out Sunday night live, and then their podcast is in a podcast feed on Mondays. Dale Jr. does something Monday, and it seems to come out Tuesday. Door Bumper Clear comes out Monday, Tuesday. Same with Stacking Pennies, right? And Stacking Pennies of all those is a NASCAR affiliated one. So they're run by NASCAR. The other three are all Dirty Mo, Dale Jr. But they all seem to know a little something behind the scenes. And they all seem to kind of float ideas out there. And Dale Jr. saying in his that might not be going away. Mexico might not be going away. They're definitely looking at San Diego next year. Still want to get to Montreal. And now we've got like extra pieces of the puzzle and not enough spots. And what do you think they should do?
I'm not. I mean, they're interesting, they're fun, but there's so many tracks, like actual tracks, that could use a race there that would be great. I mean, I hated seeing Road America go away. Like they said, Montreal. I don't know. I mean, it was interesting. We tried it, you know.
Do you think like 2 or 3 week time spans are pretty good?
I mean, they did 3 years in Chicago. You know, try something else. You can always go back. You know, it's just because if you went away from it doesn't mean you never are going to revisit it again.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I can always go back.
Yeah.
I think the 2 to 3 year time spans are perfect. I guess the Chicago contract had an option for another year or two, and that was part of it. But the San Diego thing, like, isn't finalized yet either. And I think that's part of the problem too. I think Mexico City happened because they couldn't get the Montreal deal together. You know, so I think they're like juggling a lot of things at one time and waiting to see.
But we're like making tracks when there's tracks that could definitely, like, okay, Road America, you don't have to worry about shutting down the streets and causing all the chaos. Like they could definitely use that revenue and something like that.
You know, I found it interesting because you said like your purview of going to a road course like Road America, that it got boring after a while. And I thought about it, and Road America is the worst one. And maybe that's why you said that, because you said, you're sitting there, they go by you, and then it's.
When they're on the other side of the track, you can't even hear them. But it's still a gorgeous venue and wonderful best bathroom. Just, yeah. I mean, if you want to sit, I mean, there were people across the way from us that were grilling like the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like they were at a park that every once in a while NASCAR went through.
Well, that's what I was going to say is like the laps there are over 2 minutes long, 2.5 minutes long or something like that. I think that's part of it. Like the the Chicago race this past weekend, I think a lap was a little over 90 seconds, so just that time period of it waiting, I think kind of, because then even when it got spread out, it didn't get spread out enough where they were like,
but the way Chicago was, you still come back to the same area because you just,
yeah, the 2 turns were like back to back, and then
it looked like
we were just describing
like, what are they talking about?
I did this.
But when you're at like, and again, I'm not picking on them because I really do like Road America. It's just there are times where you wouldn't really know that you were at, like if you just plunk down in the middle of it and they're on the other side of the track, you may not even know that you were at a race. Mm-hmm. Which, if that's what you like, that's great. If you like seeing cars all the time, you're not going to get that.
Yes, Chelsea is pointing out that they're supposed to meet with Chicago officials at the end of the month about doing that. Generally, just like Coda, it's interesting. I haven't been there yet. I like the fact that they're racing a track that the Formula One guys race on there. Although this year they changed the NASCAR layout, so they're not running the full track that Formula One runs. But I like that concept that they run the same track that a Formula One race is on. What do you think about that?
I mean,
you think it's wrong?
It's kind of okay. I mean, it's not, to me. It's not like, it's kind of cool, but it's not something that I would, beg to keep in there.
Yeah. And the other rumor, I don't know if I starting to spread this rumor about San Diego, but I've been trying to, is that they're talking about doing it in and around a military base of some sort, the track itself. Now, I don't know if that'd be like the Navy there, or I don't know. There's a lot of military stuff around San Diego area. We know there's some Marine stuff not too far from.
That's like an hour.
Yeah, but Navy, Army, right there too. So that would make it kind of interesting too, especially if it was on the 4th of July weekend. Oh, we wanted to do Miami Street like F1 or Nashville Street like IndyCar. Those, once again, that's really interesting too, because the Miami Street course is around the football stadium. The Nashville one goes over a bridge or something there in town.
Let's do like rural back road street race, like what they did back when they were, bootleggers.
That's good.
Let's go old school.
I had some hills and wood. And then all of a sudden you've got a rally car race. So cars flying off into the air, jumping ramps.
I mean, we'll put up fences.
Okay. Catch fences.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
Yeah. The Titans Stadium's right at Broadway Nashville. Yeah. So I didn't realize they raced right near the stadium too.
Let's go to the beach.
Now you're starting trouble.
Let's get them right on the beach.
That's the way it used to
Team
be.
chaos.
Right? I think I made a map on Pittsburgh at one point, going around the football stadium toward the baseball stadium, trying to find a way to go over one of the bridges even.
I don't know how you could do it on a bridge.
Yeah. But there's enough area around the football and baseball stadium down there on that side of the river, and you could probably shut those roads down without too much of a fuss, to tell you the truth. Just a matter of where people would park. You would kind of, I don't know, the view from the other side of the river would be really great up the hill on the mountain there. You can see the track very well, though. That's the only thing. They'd have to build the fences so people can't see from over there, because they do want people to pay some admission to get in. The other thing I was going to say was we were going to talk about over the weekend. Did you have any opinion about what happened at the end of the race with Cody Ware getting the tire bear there and taking too long for a caution?
Well, I think it was a little late. I mean, that was pretty big clip.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe I should ask it this way. Did you think they did it on purpose to make sure that the white flag got blown because of them trying to hurry up because of the weather, in case it rained while they were doing caution laps, and Shane was going to win anyway, or they didn't want to have a tainted finish with a green-white checker and a bunch of guys wrecking in the turn 2? I mean, do you think they kind of did it on purpose in a way, held off?
Isn't it the general consensus? I mean, isn't that kind of what everybody's thinking?
But I don't know. I think they made excuses afterward that kind of like made it sound like they said that all weekend long they tried to let guys back away, but then they didn't see the severity of the wreck. They just saw the result, which kind of like confused me, like, because I don't know if they had cameras. I thought they had cameras every turn, so I don't know like how they didn't see.
They should have. If they didn't, then that's a glaring error on their part. There should have been.
I find that's Chelsea asked a good question here. With caution coming out, does SVG still win?
I don't.
I think one thing about him that we know is that he has said that he had problems with the guys roughing each other up because the way he raced before, and now he's getting better at guys roughing each other up, I think, NASCAR wise. So I don't know if he would have had as much of a problem. I think Justin pointed that somebody was faster. Yes, there were guys with pressure tires behind him.
Listen, I don't think if there was any intent behind it, I personally don't think it. Well, I want that one, not that one, or we want to get that guy in, not that. I don't think that. I don't believe in those. I don't. Could it be because they were like, we got to get moving here. We've got weather. We've got this. We've got that. Like, let's just go. That I can see.
Because it was only, it's funny is like it really was only like an extra. Some people counted 20 or 30 seconds, but I've seen some things where it was only like an extra 10 to 15 seconds that it took between the time he was deeply in the barrier and then they got the white flag. So, I think if they go green, white, checker, he still wins. I know there were guys that were faster behind him, but I think he can block the line those guys would have needed really well. And I think that a lot of people think that there were guys faster behind him on pressure tires, but I think he was toying with the field the last bunch of laps. He did it the last time he won. He kind of was just like, I'm so fast right now, I can do whatever I want. And so there's one more comment.
I like what
Terry's saying I was going to look at Terry's comment there. So I think one street course, maybe 3 road courses can be mixed, rotate around every year is fine. The rest should be standard short, mid-size, and super speedways. Where are they at now? They're it's 5, and then the street course is 6. Well, count the Roval. Because the Roval's its own thing too. I mean, we call it a road course, but it's half road course, half oval. I mean, think about it. They go through turns 1 and 2 and turns 3 and 4.
I'm over it.
For the chicane. But you were there for the first one.
I was.
Yeah.
Haven't you had that sandwich is awesome. I love that sandwich. And then 3 weeks in, you're like, nope, I don't. I'm over it. I've had myself.
I love that race. I think it's great to go there. There's all the actions there in front of you. Unlike Road America, where it disappears.
I understand that, and that's a point in their favor. But yeah. I'd much rather see them. If it's going to stay at Charlotte, I'd just be happy if they were on the oval.
On the oval. That's the only thing is that if it wasn't Charlotte, maybe it was somebody else's oval. All these other tracks actually have some road course type things through them that people don't know about. If you Google Map some of them, I think New Hampshire has a circuit in there somewhere. So there's other tracks they could do it at too. They just have to put the infrastructure together to run the actual track, of course, that's inside of the track. But I don't know. I think, one roval per year. I think they're 6. I think that's the perfect number actually. 1/6 of the schedule. You run 2 Atlantas, 2 Talladegas, 2 Daytonas, so that's 6 super speedways. You do Martinsville twice, Bristol twice. 6, so you're 6, 7 short tracks. I think everything is at 6. 6 of this, 6 of that.
I like Terry's idea. You can move them around, but keep them to that same number.
One thing that's great about the Rovals, you could have it in the playoffs because weather-wise, late in the year, where else are you going to go? Unless you went all the way out to snow. I don't know, because all the other ones are up north, right? I mean, Watkins Glen. I liked Indy when they did the road course in Indy, to tell you the truth. We were there for that once.
Yeah, we were there twice.
Twice, actually, for that, yeah.
I'm over that, too.
Just not a fan of the road course.
Go back to the...
Well, they already did.
I know.
I think once every so many years they should run the road course.
Maybe they should flip a coin when they get there, and then that'll decide which one they're doing.
That's why they pay her the big bucks. So, because SVG's dominance, that's the other thing. Somebody pointed out that Jeff Gordon won 4 or 5 road course races in a row at one point. And he was the, he was the guy every time they went to a road course that, oh, he's going to win. So I don't know, like, just think at some point people will catch up, right? At the end of the race, if they ran a couple more laps green this past weekend, he might not have won. Guys were coming, right? What's that?
Sure, the first
Oh,
row.
well, with this, yes. Well,
That was your first Ryan win?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We were there. We were down in turns, would be like turn one, but basically where they come off the infield area and go back up into the turn, So, yeah, for a while there it was Watkins, Glen was Stewart, right? Nobody could beat him And at the time in NASCAR back then, they only did the 2 road courses, so you thought guys would have caught up and got better, but simulator work wasn't quite the same as it is now too. Speaking of which, if you check out the TikTok, I posted a TikTok today, Ryan talking about his work in the simulator on road courses, so that's kind of cool. Some words for Jimmy Johnson. Oh, that's right. We keep forgetting that Chelsea's taking Chelsea's angle is different than ours.
Yeah.
Her view is more about Martin Truex Jr. and Jimmy Johnson at the end of that race back then. And yeah, that was a little crazy because I mean Ryan was running third and he really wasn't going to win the race till those 2 messed it up. One messed it up for the other one. And fun part about it was like Ryan almost like stalled the car out coming around in between them and picking up the gas. He almost slipped off the gas pedal. He was so excited to see green pastures in front of him. Yes, at the end, oh yeah, definitely. This week, Sonoma, fantasy. Who you picking? Who are your 5 this week? You want to like a look at the lineup?
SVG. Allmendinger.
Oh, AJ.
Bowman.
Bowman. Okay.
Joseph.
Joey?
Yeah. Denny?
Denny was.
No, put Joey in the garage. Put in Carlos.
I've seen a Shane. Michael McDowell. I think, again, as long as his car doesn't blow up on him, he was running real well. Tyler Reddick. Gibbs. How many I got so far? 4? I like that one. Justin says Busher. I like Busher on that. I do like Busher. And Ryan in the garage. But I don't have any more uses. I've used Ryan.
I've
Used him already 10 times. But if I could, yeah, Ryan would be my garage guy because I think that Ryan could do the same types of things he did this past weekend. Good part about this weekend coming up is he's in the second group for practice and qualifying. So he should be able to run the faster stuff. And with the fantasy pick, I'm going to pull it up here because it's great. Somewhere up here. There it is. Okay. They've already put together the matchup. And I brought them up because it's the same thing as the bracket challenge. These are the final 8 guys. And I think it's pretty easy, but once again, if guys crash out, like Carson gathers them up into turn 4 or something and takes everybody out again, could change. But the first matchup's Gibbs and Zane Smith. What do you got? Like I said, I think it's pretty easy. Priest and Tyler Reddick. Bowman and Ty Dillon, the underdog of underdogs. Bowman. And then the fun one is Nemechek and Jones because they're both Legacy Motorsports. And so somebody from Legacy Motorsports is going to make the Final Four.
I wouldn't even check.
You didn't even check? I can't think Jones in that one. I don't know why. But Jones, somebody said, so Jones was on a podcast this past week, and somebody said that if Jones wins this whole thing in Indianapolis, that he was going to streak down the front stretch, whoever that guy was. So if Jones makes it and wins the whole thing, it's something to look out for in Indy. A long front stretch. So I don't know. I think the lineup votes we could do that part, and then I think for us this week, I think this weekend is Xfinity and Cup. You want to go ahead and read off what we're looking at for TV and so forth.
Friday at 4 p.m. is Xfinity practice on the CW app. 5:05 is qualifying, also on the CW app. Saturday at 1:30, we got Cup practice on True and Max. 2:40 is Cup qualifying on True and Max. 4:30 is the Pit Box Food Max 250, the Xfinity race. It's on the CW. And then Sunday at 3:30 is the Toyota Save Mart 350 on TNT and.
So the other thing is like they're still doing, I think, that broadcast on True TV on Sunday too, where they cover the brackets. So that's kind of cool too. I was hoping that you'd grab. Tricky's here. Tricky will find its way south somehow. We'll get them down there to you guys. Not sure when, or we'll ship them. We'll just ship them. You can ship pretty easy. Get a nice little container, poke some holes in it so it doesn't suffocate.
Yeah.
You know.
They'll unbreathe.
I don't want to bend him up. Looking good. He's looking healthy.
Yep.
He needs to migrate. Because, Tricky doesn't do good in this weather. Actually, Tricky does great in the winter here, I'm sure. So yeah, I think for us this week, that should wrap it up for this week. What do you think? About an hour or a little less than an hour. But so, like I said, next week we'll do this again. Next week, Kate says she's got a game show. Also, maybe we'll be previewing Dover next week too. So we'll be talking about our adventure going to Dover. And
this shirt because of Dover.
That shirt because of Dover.
It was a contest that the Blaney Family Foundation put on. They said a couple years ago, where do you think Ryan's going to finish in this race if you have the correct one? Those that picked. I think I picked third, and he came in third, and then they picked my name.
Okay.
And it did have, he did sign it, but I've washed it up because I wear it to a lot of tracks. I think it's gone.
Yeah. Get him to re-sign it somewhere. Permanent, even permanent. I don't even know if permanent markers work that well. But maybe next week we'll do the T-shirt explanation too. We go, like I said, we have our board that all the tracks we go to and so forth, and we try to get the new tracks every year. Dover will be a new one for us for sure. The other thing that likes to happen to these things is Kate collects a shirt from every track we go. Whatever's the style that year or whatnot. Except you said we didn't have Richmond yet for some reason.
I wasn't, like, I had been collecting, but I didn't realize that I was collecting, and I didn't get one when we went to Richmond.
Yeah. So we're going deep into the closet.
And I don't have a Kentucky one.
Really?
Yep. Didn't get one then.
I didn't realize that. We'll have to maybe see if we can find a retro one online or something.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I'll have to look into that. I'm sure there's something out there.
I mean, there's got to be, but
probably a good price. I'll start looking at this right after we're done. I'll be on my phone. At Chelsea, it says they collect the magnets. That's
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, so that'll be next week, Wednesday on Team Blaney After Dark. Yeah, so, oh, anything else?
Okay.
And if any Marines are watching,
Yes. Love to any Marines that might be watching.
I'm not gonna let you. Guys, next week, thanks for tuning in. We'll have some more stuff for next week for you. And got stuff during the week. Let us know. Give us a holler. Check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Um, this will be on YouTube too. So check us out. And got any questions, just drop us a line. We'll do some fun stuff again next week.
Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.
Like, hanging out on the